Hello, good afternoon. This is the Peak District cyclist. I'm up in the Peak District hills. You can't really see it, can you? This is going towards Bosley. There's BT's Sutton Common Tower there. So, this is actually halfway through my ride, well, about a third. So what you're going to see on a separate video, on a short, is me changing the BleeqUp Ranger glasses from landscape to portrait, and me doing a YouTube shot of me shooting down here. Now this should be fast. The fastest I've ever gone down there is over 50 miles an hour. It's a bit breezy today. Safety first. But anyway, thanks for watching. Today's going to be a ride where I just skirt on the outskirts of the Peak District. So yeah, there is some climbs. I'll probably do about 2,000 feet of climbing. I've already been to Macclesfield for a cappuccino and a snack. I've just been close to Orgreave. I've just climbed up here. I've just turned the range extender off. That's still got 25% left. The bike battery's full. I'm going to shoot down here and go towards, oh, I forgot what it's called now, but I'm going to end up at Jodrell Bank. There's an airstrip, I think it's called Fern Farm Airstrip. I'm going to go past there, Cheshire countryside. So join me today. Thank you very much. Just entering Hamforth in Cheshire. On my way to Macclesfield and then up into the Macclesfield Hills. I think this is why usually I like to set off first thing in the morning. I'm not used to the afternoon traffic, well, sort of, maybe on my way home, but usually I'm coming down country lanes where traffic's not that bad, but once we get off this road, it should be all right. A lot of people turning lefts without checking the side mirror today, but as a road cyclist, I'm preempting that they're not going to check, holding back slightly. And believe me, if anyone has the side window down and they cut in front of my path, they're getting a lot of verbals. There's no excuse. Every car has a side mirror. There's more and more cyclists on the road now. Let's go. Oh, it's a nice little kicker, this, up to the train station. Soon up to the top, and then you reward a nice fast downhill descent. Strong headwind I've got here, coming from my right, from right. One good thing about me always planning a loop, at any point if you've got headwinds, at some point that's going to be a tailwind, so it all evens out in the end. I actually personally find don't push too hard into a headwind, because as you increase your speed, you're increasing the headwind strength coming into your face. Cycling at 15 miles an hour into a 15 miles an hour headwind means it's a 30 miles an hour. So I try not to burn too much energy into strong headwinds. Keep it nice and steady. Save the energy for the negative headwinds or slight tailwinds, where you can put the hammer down and build up your average speed. It's all about being economical on the bike. Right, I'll see you further down the road, and thanks for joining me today. Right, bottle, I did electrolytes. I think I've got about 200 ml left in the bottle. I threw it in my bag, it's on my back. Plenty of fluids. I've still got a protein bar and 2 energy gels in the bag and 30 miles to go, so happy days. And time to build my speed up now. I've had my caffeine. Although, gotta admit, I must say, the caffeine content on one of the outer Presswich, or Pressbury, I should say. Getting mixed up then, there's a mank. And from there, to Macclesfield, I'm gonna stop and have a lovely cappuccino. Let me know, people, what your favourite hot beverage is while you're out on the bike. If it's a cup of tea, Thai latte, Americano, double espresso, I'm interested, let me know. Lovely day. Not too warm, mid-sweaties. Perfect cycling conditions, this. A little bit breezy, but you can't have it all. And like I was saying earlier, if there's moments in the ride when you've got a headwind, there'll be moments when you're benefiting from a tailwind, so unless it's not too windy, especially up in the hills where it's going to affect your handling on a lightweight road bike, I don't try not to think about it too much. I'm going to try and do a few clips today. Not in widescreen, not in landscape, but in portrait mode. Something I never do. But there's an option for these BleeqUp Ranger glasses. And that aspect ratio would be perfect for some YouTube shorts. So have a look in my channel today. I've got one particular fast descent that I'm going to try and get, because that should hopefully cut under the 1 minute limit. If not, I'll just edit it and keep it at 59 seconds for a YouTube short duration. Easing myself into today's ride. So, nice steady 207 watts, 16 miles an hour, maybe 10% below my usual average. I don't care, because I'm only 8 miles in, 30 miles into the ride when I'm hitting my stride. Plus I would have had a cappuccino, don't forget the caffeine, boys and girls. My power and average speed should pick up. It's pretty much lunchtime, but I'm carrying protein bars and energy gels. I might get a fruit pot. I had a late breakfast, so not feeling particularly hungry, so I get something. On the bike, I absolutely love these Greg's fruit pots with watermelon and grapes, because they're so hydrating. You get your fructose, and plus they taste amazing. Happy days. Just cruise down there at 22 miles an hour, average speed at 16.1. Nice and comfortable. Right, this is a bit boring, this bit. I'll see you further up the road. Now, my subconscious can smell the coffee in the air. Maybe not. But it's nice. It's nice to have that mid-ride stop, even though it's not mid-ride really. It's about 25%. Maybe 30% in, but it's nice to have that goal. I think if your rides are anywhere over 40 miles, even less, pull over, get refreshed, give your hands, give your bum a rest, refuel. Let your heart rate drop back down, and if you've got a little bit of walk into the cafe, help clear some lactate build up. Or little hacks, or little pointers that I can give you. Usually I'd go straight ahead here, but last time I went there, a lot of traffic, temporary traffic lights, so I'm going to do a left, I'm going to jump, on the Middlewood Way, old railway line. It's for walkers and cyclists, horse riders, blah blah blah. Stop recording. Goes all the way through from Mahle. It's an old railway line, all the way from Mahle through Bollington to Macclesfield. I'm pointing. It's actually a really good surface for pretty much the whole route. You could happily cycle the whole route. So like, I could be on the big main road, but I've decided to come this way, knowing it's usually pretty quiet. And this would bring me out at the opposite side of Macclesfield Town Centre, where I'm going for a coffee. He's got his head in his phone. Beep beep. And headphones on. So even if I had a bell then, wouldn't have heard or seen me. Thank you. Luckily I know all the corners here, so I know to slow down. It's not a smooth transition to go on that bridge. There's a bit of a bump before you hit it, and if your weight was too far forward, potentially could send you over your handlebars. I've got my front light on, my rave men, which I class as my daytime running lights. It's a little bit bumpy here, but me, we're having TPU tubes. I run my PSI pretty low. Today I've got 58 rear, 55 front. And it's plenty for me. I was speaking to a cyclist on Monday in Buxton. Oh, they've reopened it. No, they haven't. We went there for a drive after my car was serviced. My Mazda CX-5, 2.2 diesel. So I wanted to give her a good run, circulating the new oil. Just coming past. Hello. Hi. It's okay, thank you. Yeah, so I was speaking to a couple of young cyclists on amazing bikes. And the one who had the Ribble Ultra SLR, I think it is. He also had 30mm tyres like me. He was lighter than me, and he said he was running 70 PSI. Couldn't believe it. I said, how are your teeth? He honestly didn't know what I was talking about. And he had TPU tubes. I said, mate, your tyres are way too hard. And you would actually gain speed by lowering your PSI. Which is a fact. It evens out the imperfections in the road. There's less hand fatigue. And I'm absolutely happy with my current setup. I did start off with about around 61 front, 64 rear. And the amount of noise and chatter through the bike, I gradually lowered it until I found what I class now as a sweet spot, and I'm happy with it. And guess what? I've not lost any speed. Just gained comfort. So we're coming into Macclesfield now. Near the train station, and I'm gonna go have a coffee break. Next time you see me, I'll be going through Sutton Lane ends. and then up BT Common Tower. BT Sutton Common Tower, I should say. See you later. I finished off my bike bottle and bought a 750ml bottle. Refilled my bike bottle, added electrolytes. I think I've got about 200ml left in the bottle. I threw it in my bag. It's on my back. Plenty of fluids. I've still got a protein bar and 2 energy gels in the bag and 30 miles to go, so happy days. And time to build my speed up now. I've had my caffeine. Although, gotta admit, I must say, the caffeine content on one of these Greg's large cappuccinos, I think they just have more hot milk and water. I've never once had it and had that feeling that, oh, I might have had too much caffeine, even though I've had a coffee at home beforehand. So to me, they're just a really tasty drink and probably not too much caffeine. I don't think they do what some coffee shops do and add like a triple shot for a large drink. But I did the Blue Monday, or if you're on O2 priority, you get a £1 drink. So I'll just claim that. Large cappuccino for £1. Large bottle of water for £1.60. Fruit pot for £1.40. Total cost £4. Nice cheap pit stop. Road closes to the left. I'm not going that way. Although it's probably still open to cyclists anyway, which is usually the case. I'm going towards Sutton. Let's ask for a little bit of help from the bike now. I've not even used half of my range extender. My bike battery's full. I've used 60%. Sorry, I've used 40%. I've got 60% of my range extender left. So, absolutely bags of power. I probably didn't need to bring the range extender, but I've got some big rides coming up. For as strange as it sounds, I want my legs used to pushing high speeds on the flats with the extra weight of the range extender. If I rode today with this bike without at 11.4 kilos, and find I don't have to push as many watts to keep the bike at a fast speed. When I go up into the big hills in Wales, I might find that I suddenly notice the extra weight of the range extender, so I'm carrying it today. So this is my baseline, if that makes sense. I might turn my range extender off when there's about 30% left, and then probably run about 50% of the bike battery down. That way neither of them have been particularly stressed or drained completely. It also means I've had this bike now since November. Sometimes I'm getting 3 rides out of 1 full charge of the bike battery. So since November of last year, and we're now at the beginning of July, yesterday was only its 12th charge. How about that? How about that for battery preservation? Right, I see you further along. Stop recording. I'm just skirting on the outskirts of the Peak District here. Macclesfield Forest is about a mile to my left. If you carried on this road, it would take you close to Orgreave. Carry on, you'd be close to the Roaches and Lud's Church. We are going to climb, and then I'm going to drop down from BT Sutton Common Tower. It's a bit of a mouthful. Going to drop down towards Bosley, and that's fast. If it's not on this video, that would be because I'm planning on making a YouTube short and filming that in portrait. So keep an eye on the shorts for my channel, please, and support that. Like, comment if you feel like it. If not, if you just watch it, you're helping the channel. Thank you so much. Even if you're here just watching this, thank you. It's a bit breezy today, so maybe carrying the 2 batteries is a good idea. Although, if I was to hazard a guess off the top of my head, I think I'll probably run the internal battery down to about 20%. And if there's one thing I do know about the Mahle X20 range extender, it's marketed as a 171 watt-hour battery, but if you look at its model number, it's actually the E185. So I think what Mahle have done, they've reserved 14 watt-hours to help protect the battery cells, which makes sense. And so even if I run it down to 0, technically it's not 0. But what I don't like, my Garmin, as soon as the battery of the range extender gets near 10%, I get a bloody constant annoying low battery warning. That blocks half of your screen. If you're on Climb Pro, which I am now, it blocks half of your screen. So, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to keep an eye on the charge level, and when the range extender gets to about 20% or just below, I will switch that off and then run off the internal battery. I'm just going to pull over here and have a gel before I hit the worst of this climb. So we've been climbing for a while. I'm over the worst. We're up to 11% back there. Still got 40% of the range extender left. Before I do the big climb for Sutton BT Common Tower, I might turn the range extender off and just run off the internal battery. So I'll be climbing up to that tower there. Very, very warm. So I'm going to the settings on my glasses before descending down towards Bosley. Like I said earlier, put in portrait mode, hopefully get a decent YouTube shot, me going at speed. Previously hit over 50 miles an hour going down that, not sure if I want to today. We're going up 7% here. 380 watts in level 2. I have that turned down from 100 to 80%. It's going to shoot up in a minute, but I'm not going up to turbo. I'm going to utilise my 1-to-1 gearing of 34-34. The 105 Di2 actually does a 36. There we go. 9%, 10%. On level 2. And what's this range? This range extender still on 35%. God bless it. We've done probably over 20 miles just in this range extender alone. In fact, even though it's a gradual climb, the best I've ever done is I've got to Buxton 26 miles in with 28% left in this range extender. Then rode out of Buxton to the start of the Cat and Fiddle climb, switched her off, switched over to the internal battery and carry on with my ride. I usually get on with about 60% left in the bike. How good's that? Letting the car know behind me my intentions, which is to turn right here. Straight into a headwind, great. Strong as well. Okay, here's the challenge. Can I get to the top of this big climb before the range extender starts flashing low battery? The only thing is, if it does, even if I turn the range extender off, I keep getting that warning for the next 20 minutes on my Garmin, and trust me, it's enough to make me spit feathers. So it's a gamble. I'm going to keep an eye on the charge level. If it gets anywhere near 10%, I turn it off. And this goes up to 12% this climb. Thanks for joining me today. Look at these Peak District hills. I told you I was just skirting on the outskirts. I can see Macclesfield Forest. Cat and Fiddle's on the other side. I can see Manchester City Centre in the distance. You won't, because these are wide-angled lens. I can see it clearly. So even though this is pretty steep, if I can keep my cadence between 95 and 100, level 2's enough. I'm at 9 miles an hour, just under 500 watts. Good workout. Still on 30%. God bless her little cotton socks. Well done. Well done, range extender. What a great buy. So I got the range extender, I got the full kit with the wire, the cage. I got it through Start Fit this on eBay. I think it was about $480. eBay had a discount code and I paid $380. Brand new. 2-year warranty. Wow. So in a minute, I'll pull over. I'm going to change the setting to portrait. And please check my channel later to see a YouTube short of me going down this next hill at speed. Thank you for your support. I'm going to pull over and change my settings. Now, we're going down towards Bosley. Look at them views. I can see Bosley Cloud in the distance, and this road shoots down fast. I'm just going to zip my shirt up. So I have gone down here in the past at 50 miles an hour, but one thing I have noticed recently, it's been re-tarmacked, there's a lot of loose gravel. I'm getting a lot of headwind from the side, so I'm braking. I go up to 40 miles an hour then. I'm going shooting uphill here at 29 miles an hour. That's how much speed I just carried into that bit of a climb then. I started pedalling uphill at 29 miles an hour. Tucking in. Up here at 30 miles an hour, trying to maintain the momentum that I've just made. I'm still doing 22, going uphill here. And then it's straight back downhill again. It's very windy, the wind's coming from the side. So it's all about keeping your bike as stable as possible and balancing your body weight. Right, I was heavy on the brakes for a second then. Carrying some nice speed down here, nothing stupid, enough to get the heart rate up, bit of excitement, and I think it shoots down again here. Yep, it's been a little while since I've done this descent. Unfortunately, headwinds today. I went down here once with a tailwind, got back home, checked commute, maximum speed 58 miles an hour. I've got to admit, I sat there afterwards thinking, imagine if you came off at that speed. No thank you. I don't want to imagine. Okay. Towards Congleton here. I'm not going to Congleton. Bosley Cloud is there. I've gone up and around that. The road's called Cloudside. I've gone up and around Cloudside and gone to Mocop. Gone up there. That was an epic ride. Did that about 3 years ago. It's probably not in my plans to go back this year on the bike because I actually took the kids there in the car when I just bought the Mazda CX-5. Did that struggle up the kilometre? Absolutely not. 2.2 litre twin turbo. So I'm going to try and pick my average speed up now after the few climbs that I've done. I want to get that back over 16 miles an hour. as soon as possible, and my aim is to get home with it close to 17 miles an hour average, which at the moment seems to be roughly my sweet spot. A little bit of assist on the hills, rocket ship on the flats. What a bike. And you should feel the speed I can get out of it without the range extender. My goodness, does it even feel like an e-bike? 11.4 kilos without the range extender. Today it's 12.5, but with the TPU tube and the Schwalbe 1 tyres, for me, 17 miles an hour is still very achievable, average speed. That's looking at about 225 watts average over the course of a ride. My word, that crosswind is shaking me up a bit. I hope people had a chance to watch my review of the BleeqUp Ranger glasses the other day. Last week, last Friday I think it was. Oh, I remember this climb. Let's get out of saddle. Let's get out of saddle. Come on, Brooksy. Let's get it done. Come on, lad. Come on, lad. Hey! About 650 watts there out of saddle. Oh shit, it's not finished. Could have pulled into the lay-by properly. Out of saddle again. Come on, lad. Come on, lad, you've got it. You've got it. Think of all your training, you've got it. We had it. We did it. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. That's the climb done. I know I've been here before, this is downhill now. Feel the heat off the tarmac here. 26.3 degrees according to my Garmin. I don't know how accurate that is. Has it got a built-in temperature gauge? Is it getting it through the internet? Is it cooled by the wind? I'd love to know how it's calculating that. Then a couple of climbs, raising my heart rate has made riding on these flats now, I feel like my legs have so much power. Raising the heart rate right up, which I tell you something now, them climbs were only a couple of minutes ago, my heart rate's back down to 140. It's not bad, that, is it? It's a lovely farm. It's got camping as well. I hate it when you see people have dumped stuff by the side of these beautiful lanes. I blame the councils. As soon as they started charging for transits to go to your local recycling centres, people start dumping them on lanes. And then don't the council then have to pay to go collect it? It's counterintuitive. I'm going to pull over and have a drink, keep hydrated. So we're heading towards George Road Bank. If it's a hazard to guess, we'll go 5-6 miles away. And it looks like, listen to this, looks like roughly a headwind for the whole way home. Yay! Look at me. But the only thing is, I'm carrying the range extender, but my natural pace will be way above the cutoff. So I'm going to be pushing 70 and 80 miles an hour for most of the route into a headwind. So it's what I call a leg sapper. But in terms of fitness, leg strength, durability, it's actually a really, really good workout. I rest up Saturday. I'm planning on a short ride Sunday evening, chat with my brother if that's still on. That will be my recovery. Next ride Tuesday morning, and then the plan is to go to North Wales, either stay over Wednesday night or drive down the early hours of Thursday morning. But I'm going to keep an eye on the weather too, because that can change, so I need to be flexible on that. Internal battery's at 99% because I've been cruising for miles. Not asking anything of it. Even the odd little tiny bit of a kicker, I might drop down to 16 miles an hour. So it's kicking up here a little bit, right? I've geared down. I clear it at 16.8. So you're not getting assistance from the bike unless you want to slow down and let it kick in. Right, I'm over 16 miles an hour average now. The pace has been picked up, regardless of the headwind. Beautiful lanes, these in Cheshire. I might have left the Peak District, but these are brilliant. Lots of twists and turns. They're not flat. For as much as people say Cheshire's flat, it is towards Warrington, that direction, but not round here. So we're about to go on Congleton Road, which is a very, very, very heavy traffic road. So I'm doing a left, and I'm gonna do a right back onto the Cheshire lanes. I'm coming out of Cockmoss. No jokes, please. Or maybe do. The wind's hitting me strong from my right hand side now. I've got a tiny bit of assistance from the motorway. I'm doing 15.5. But my pedalling style means I don't take too much power out of the bike, because I never lay off the power. I know this lane, it drops down, so I'm into the big ring. Local knowledge there. I've dropped 1% on the battery, the internal battery. I've got 18.9 miles to get home, and I've got 98% of the internal battery. That internal battery's been on for about 7 or 8 miles. Go, keeping my cadence, 117 my cadence up that kicker. I'm starting to work now. I'm entering what I class as in the zone, which is usually the middle part of my ride. Heart rate's at 148. I'm working but uncomfortable. Or comfortably working. Turn right, where? Right, I remember I wrongly turned right there last time. It's not that right. The Garmin gives you the warning early. A couple of times in the past I did that turn right there, it was the wrong turning. Luckily this time I remembered it's not this right, it's the next one. I remember this lane. So I was on this lane. Might have been early last year, and I hit a patch. I might even be able to spot it. I hit a patch where the lane was flooded, even to the sides of the lane. It was about 6 inches deep. So I think I was on my Ribble Endurance SLE, and what I did was I sacrificed my feet. I picked the bike up and I just waded through it. I had the bike on my shoulders. I'm not having a £3,000 bike with a battery in the down tube. and cycling through 6 inches of water. It was put, in some cases, in some parts it was about 8 inches. It was above my stop line. Yeah, I don't think I can remember the actual patch, but it was on here somewhere. I think last time I came this way, I hit the patch and I recognised it straight away. Normally I'm resuming 18, 19 miles an hour here. I'm doing 17. The headwind is coming from there. So I'm going to turn into the headwind now. But it's one of them headwinds that might be 8, 10 miles an hour, but every so often picks up to say 20. It was here. It was here. All this was flooded. You see how it dips down here? Walk through it. Just over 28 miles in, sick of the headwind, been carrying the headwind for mile after mile. I'm cruising along over 17 miles an hour, but that's taking more energy from me. Whereas usually 17 miles an hour, you feel like you can do it all day. But got into a headwind. But what I'm doing here is pacing myself. To get that average speed up, I don't need to be doing 20 miles an hour. I just need to be doing 17, 18 for pretty much every mile home. And what I'll see then is the average speed on my Garmin will just slowly tick up. It's up to 16.1. I've still got one more gel and a protein bar. I don't think, off the top of my head, that I've eaten quite enough. I had some toast sourdough this morning with banana and peanut butter and a coffee. Mid-ride, I had a Cadbury's raisin bar. You've seen them, the purple bar, they're lovely. A fruit pot and a cappuccino. I had a gel before I hit the big climb earlier. I've still got, is it Nature Valley? Protein bar in my bag. So when I get to Jodrell Bank, and by that point I should have about 15 miles to go, I'm gonna munch that and keep the gel as an emergency, because this headwind today is sapping the energy out of me. I'm very hydrated, so that's not an issue. One thing I haven't had on this ride is a pee. Considering the amount of liquid I've consumed, I'm assuming the Greg's large cappuccino was around 400ml. I've had 550ml of my bike bottle from when I left my house. That had electrolytes in. I topped up my bike bottle with a 750ml bottle from Greg's. Added more electrolytes. Earlier I pulled over and pulled that plastic bottle out of my bag and drank the 200ml that was left. So I'm well hydrated. I drank some juice at home. I can just see, you might not be able to make out, I can see the top of the Lovell telescope. So probably a couple of miles away from Jodrell Bank now. Bike's sounding lovely and quiet, but I think my chain has had about 6 layers now of silica. And eventually the rollers feel a bit stiff in your fingers even though it's well waxed. So I feel like I want to do a full reset before the big miles next week. A freshly waxed chain should run beautifully. Also as well, I'll have to try and remember before these big rides to charge my Di2, because the one thing I can guarantee I use at least 10-20% more of the Di2 battery than the average rider, because I'm finely tuned, my brain is, to know my preferred cadence. So I'm a heavy gear changer, constantly micro adjusting. And I think that's why when I analyse Garmin Connect after my rides, my average power, my average cadence, my average heart rate is always pretty similar. And strangely as well, sometimes my normalised power is exactly the same number as my average power. Because I just apply constant pressure to the pedals. I don't waste energy. I don't do these massive sprints and then find that you blow up and you have to ease off for a few miles until your next wind, second wind, third wind, whatever hits you. I just constant. It might not be the most powerful rider, but I'm a consistent one. I usually average around 220. Let's see where I'm sitting at. 222. You see that? I didn't know that. Pushing along at like just under 5 watts per kilowatt. It's over 10 miles since I switched the internal battery on. I'm at 95% because I'm not hitting hills. Okay. Version, it's not a big one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit Jodrell Bank from the other side. I'm going to pull in. I'm going to refill my bike bottle because I got to the end of Longshoot. I ate half a protein bar. It was all sticky in my mouth. I took a massive swig out of my bottle and then thought, oh poo, I won't have enough of the home leg. So luckily, in the cafe, the visitor centre, I've been here enough times on the bike, I can fill my bike bottle up. Hello? Hello? Hiya. All good. I've just... No, I normally just keep you... Normally I just let you know where I am and stuff, so... Just in case you're wondering where I am.
Yeah, we're just in the garden.
Okay. Okay. On Bait Mill Lane.
I didn't hear that quite one first, but if that's what he said, it's what he said. The way I'm looking at it is, we had our fight, and everyone criticised Southgate about boring football, negative defensive substitution.
Come on, out of saddle, come on. Come on, come on. Then it shoots up again. It's been a while since I've done some proper out of saddle sprints. Seen 700 watts then. What's that done to my heart rate? Can't be right. 110, not having that. It's my heart rate monitor, mate. Maybe I'm tightening it up. Or maybe it's sweat underneath. Oh no, that's too tight. It's usually quite accurate. Temperatures have dropped slightly, 25.8. It's decent conditions, to be fair. No complaints for me. So anyway, forgot to tell you, I went to George Road Bank. The gate said it shuts at 5. It was only 20 to 4 shut. So I don't know if it, I didn't even pull out my phone, couldn't be bothered. I don't know if it shuts on Fridays. Bit of a strange day not to be open. So I've probably got about 250 mil, got to make that last. It's only 12 miles. And I just had a gel and just a tiny bit of juice just to wash it down. It's quite disconcerting going past that. It feels squashed in. Yeah, I've already decided the chain's gonna get reset. So what I do, fill a kettle, hot water, let it come off the boil, put a true tension chain guard on, but then backpedaling, I put it on the bottom of the chain, and then leave it for a good 5 minutes or so. Repeat. Actually, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to pour the hot water on the chain, leave it for a few minutes, spin it through a cloth, apply 1 drop of Silka chain stripper on each link, single drop. I've got a big 500 ml bottle of that, but what I've done is I've put it in a small old bottle of lube, wash the bottle out so that I can control the flow. 1 drop on each link, leave for 10 minutes. Repeat, 1 drop on each link, leave for 10 minutes. And then a second kettle of hot water poured on the bottom. Run it through a clean microfiber cloth, get my air gun on it. Leave it for an hour. Put a coat of Silk Super Secret on. Leave it to the next morning. Second coat. Happy days. Build up my speed now. I'm down in the drops. These bushes are giving me a bit of respite from the wind that's coming from my front left. This patch of road here has got a couple very hidden. You can't even see them. They're not potholes, they're just divots in the tarmac. Even when you're 3 foot away, you don't see anything. But then, good dumph. So there's one. Don't know if you could work that out. And there's another one coming up here. That one. Even with the Zeiss lens that's supposed to help spot potholes, the difference in definition, they've caught me out a couple of times. It's 4 PM now. So when I get near Manchester Airport, I'm going to have to be conscious of traffic. Even if I know a car's behind me, because I've got the Garmin Varia, I like to turn around, make eye contact. And I keep talking about getting myself one of them past Pixie magnets that clip onto the back of your jersey with a picture of recording camera, because I do record my rides. Been meaning to get one for a long time, and I think I need to get that sorted. I stopped roughly halfway into my ride, topped up my sun cream, 50 SPF, which is, I know it's very high protection, but when you're sweating and you're rubbing your nose, you don't know how much protection you're actually still getting 30 miles into a ride. So I have like a little travel bottle made for kids. It's waterproof. I concentrated plenty on my nose for that 50 SPF. I did forget later on to rub my back of my glove on my nose. I thought, what's that white mark on my glove? And then I remembered. I think this cyclist up ahead is a lot fresher than I am. Although I'm still putting decent watts out. Over 300 here on the flats, 70.5 miles an hour. But I'm 37.5 miles in. You know, he could be 5 miles in. I'm 2 hours, 17 minutes in. I'm still feeling pretty good. Still got got half a gel in my bag. Sorry, half a protein bar, which I'll be finishing off soon. Just a steady stream of energy going in. One thing I keep meaning to do is get some electrolytes. Sorry, make a carb mixture. But what you can do is just use your own table sugar, which is already a mixture of, what is it, maltodextrin and fructose. I might be wrong there. Or is it sucrose and fructose? My hands are feeling it. This is not the first ride recently. And I think what it is, on the flatter routes, you're spending more time on the hoods, whereas, for instance, if I'm going up Long Hill and I'm doing a hillier route, you might be on the tops, so you're not putting pressure on the bottom of your palm, you're holding here. So by alternating your holding positions, you're getting less pressure. I might try and just rest my hands gently on top of my hoods. Just fine today. That I feel like I've been pushing 17 miles an hour plus for mile after mile, and yet I've been on 16.3 average for a long time now. I would have thought that would have got to 16.4 by now, and then the last 7 or 8 miles, if I maintain a decent average, I can push that up to 16.5 average. But as I've already said numerous times on this ride, it's a very windy day, and the important metric, the most important metric, is my average watts. So I've definitely been working them on the higher end. Once this bike gets to 16 miles an hour, no, or even less, no assist. Give my hands a rest. I'm going to pull over in a sec, have the rest of my bar, and then I've got 8 miles home. That should take me about, what, 30 minutes? With traffic. Ignorant sod. Right, I'm going to pull over. Until the Cheshire Smokehouse, from there to the Honeybee, and then down towards Manchester Airport tunnels. Be wary of the traffic. I'm working here. It's a strange one. I actually feel like I want to smash it up some climbs, but at the same time, I feel like I've got the slow twitch fibre fatigue from the headwinds. So I feel like the only thing here is how close do the cars get to you as you're going down at 40 miles an hour. Well, I won't be going that fast today because I've got straight into a headwind here. 15 miles an hour headwind. So that should take some off. Coming down earlier off BT's Sutton Common Tower towards Bosley, I hit just under 41 miles an hour before crosswind scared the living daylights out of me and made me scrub off some speed sensibly. And like I said earlier, I've gone way above 50 miles an hour down that. Well, we hit over 30 anyway, about 31. Strong headwind slowing me down, maybe a good thing. Very windy today. And it's not only about slowing you down the headwind. If you've got a crosswind, it's all about how it affects your stability on the bike. And your handling. Trust me, if you get a side wind doing 40 miles an hour, you feel it. My word, I've never ever used turbo on a flat. So smooth, the delivery, oh. It's not like the X35 where you put it in turbo and it shoots you above 16 miles an hour like a rocket. It's a much, much, much smoother power delivery. And one thing I've noticed about the X20, it's a very, very clever system. It doesn't waste power because it's reading the incline. It's also knowing how much power you're putting in. So this is pretty flat. So even though I'm in turbo, it won't give me the full power. In fact, it won't give you anywhere near, because it's reading the inclination, how much power you're putting in, maybe even your heart rate. That's on Smart Assist specifically. But this is a more powerful motor than the X35. But on a flat, in turbo, it's giving you less power than the X35. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's not wasting energy. And it means you can't ghost pedal. But the most important thing that I've noticed, because, say for instance you're in level 2, and you're going up a 2-3%, the bike might give you 180 watts assistant. Then the road flattens out. You forget to turn it down to eco or level 1. The bike knows that you're no longer on a 3% climb and it's now flat. What it does then, it leaves that assistance off. Might drop it to 120 or 100 watts. The best thing about that, as an owner of this bike, is it might be a 236 watt battery, but one thing I've noticed, the range ends up being much better than my Ribble with the X35 and the 250 watt battery, because it's not wasting, it's not giving you the full. I'll give you an example. I had mine set to 170 watts in eco on the X35, 150 in level 2 and 250 in level 3, and it gave you that power all the time. less power than the X35, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's not wasting energy, and it means you can't ghost pedal. But the most important thing that I've noticed, because say for instance you're in level 2 and you're going up a 2-3%, the bike might give you 180 watts assistant. Then the road flattens out. You forget to turn it down to eco or level 1. The bike knows that you're no longer on a 3% climb and it's now flat. What it does then, it'll ease that assistance off, might drop it to 120 or 100 watts. The best thing about that, as an owner of this bike, is it might be a 236 watt battery, but one thing so I'll give you the stats up to now. 46 miles, 16.5 miles an hour average, 224 watt average. About half a mile from my front door. I'm only recording this for my own safety because it's a dodgy lane this. And in fact, I had my friend message me last night walking his dog. A car flipped here, upside down, broke that tree. My friend was out walking his dog, my friend was just up here. He said the driver had a broken nose, his girlfriend had chest pains, and then he heard someone mention that they didn't have insurance. So, this is what we're dealing with on UK roads, people. Probably his parents' car. What a tool. Anyway, hope he's okay, hope his girlfriend's okay, and I hope, because he said they're only about 17, I hope they learn the lessons and keep safe. And I hope you guys keep safe, and thank you for joining me today. Until the next time, this is the Peak District Cyclist signing out.